What's up, YouTube? This your girl, Dark Skin Aisha. Our people lack of knowledge got them thinking I'm retarded. Check out this clip where the media is telling you they trying to pass a bill where they're lowering the alcohol limit. So that means that more people will be on the road drunk driving. Check it out.
Legislation would lower the state blood alcohol limit to 0.05. Our Kevin Vesey is live in Freeport tonight. Kevin, what are activists saying about this bill?
Well, Rich, perhaps surprisingly, one longtime anti-DWI activist who we spoke to today says she's not so sure about this bill. Now, it would certainly affect just about anyone here on the Nautical Mile who's having a drink or two and then planning on driving home. That's because it would dramatically reduce the DWI threshold, nearly cutting that number in half.
I think it should happen. I definitely agree.
I think it's crazy. We have enough problem with it being 0.08.
People on the Nautical Mile in Freeport had mixed reactions tonight to a proposed state law that would cut the DWI threshold from 0.08, where it is right now, to 0.05.
We're trying to save lives here.
The measure is the brainchild of Queens State Senator John Liu, who says the change would bring New York in line with recommendations made by the NTSB in 2012. Right now, Utah is the only state in the nation with such a low limit.
I feel very strongly about drunk driving, and people just should not be doing it. But are we going to punish people for having a drink?
Marge Lee has been advocating against DWI for more than 30 years, but she's skeptical about this bill. For one, it eliminates driving while ability impaired, a lesser charge for people with a BAC above 0.05, but below 0.08.
Bad legislation is worse than no legislation. So if there's going to be new legislation, let's make it solid legislation.
The bill would also lower the more serious aggravated DWI from 0.18 to 0.12. And after Nassau and Suffolk logged a combined 25 DWI-related deaths since the beginning of 2019, Senator Liu says the time to change the law is now.
Scientifically and medically, there's a big difference between 0.05 and 0.08. You start to lose a lot of your cognitive ability.
Very interesting, Kevin, to hear the different opinions on this. So what's next for the legislation?
Well, Rich, the bills are currently in committee, and there's not a lot of time left to get them passed. That's because the legislative session in Albany ends next month. However, Senator Liu says he's determined to get this done either this year or next year.
Happy Mother's Day to the mothers behind the walls. We see you, and we love you too.
One person was killed, one driver was arrested, and another driver ran away from the scene and is still on the run, hence the mysterious part. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis with the latest. He's live at the scene for us. Marcus.
And Bill, police have not released the identity of the 22-year-old who was killed in this crash. It appears that he was a passenger in a Lyft for a rideshare vehicle, one of the 3 cars involved in this fiery, fatal crash. Newscopter 7 was above the scene as police led one of the car's occupants away in handcuffs. A minor miracle anyone was able to walk away from the horrific crash involving 3 cars, a chain reaction on the New England Thruway. It was just after 4 a.m. when a BMW lost control and hit the median on the northbound lanes near exit 12. The car burst into flames and the driver took off on foot. That was just the beginning. The mangled mess of a car that overturned is a Toyota Camry. Police say the driver swerved to avoid the BMW but was hit by a Dodge Durango. The drivers of both those vehicles survived, but the passenger in the Camry was killed. The 22-year-old victim rushed to Jacoby Hospital where he was pronounced dead. During their investigation, police determined the driver of the Durango was under the influence and placed under arrest. And that driver, 27-year-old John Stout, charged now with vehicular manslaughter, driving while intoxicated, and driving while ability impaired.
Say no to drinking driving. Do not get behind the wheel this weekend. Do not. Especially if you're drinking.